Edinburgh, 1826. I open a modest room. We sell more than things. We sell stories. Lot by lot, trust is earned. Many years pass, then the new world strides in like a flash. No wax nor wick, but magic in a wire. Across oceans the gavel is heard, Scotland's rooms made international. I glimpse wonders. A cane that whispers of Cook. A Gothic ivory casket reborn. Peplo's roses and fruit aglow. A declaration raised from a Scottish home and prized across the Atlantic. Now I see the people. No longer a handful, but a houseful. The keen and the kind, bright minds and steady hearts. A theatre larger than any I could have imagined. History in hand, tomorrow in sight.
Well, when I think of Lyon Turnbull in 1826, we look at the new town, but still as a historic place, but it was the new town. And especially on George Street and moving on, everything was being built. So it would have been incredibly busy, full of carts and horses. Any place where you have people and construction and building, you're going to have people selling things. Those chattels and those goods need to have a place to go, and that would have been what would have inspired him at the time.
It all started here, Market Street, in 1817. Jonathan Lyon wasn't selling paintings, he was a spirit merchant, filling jars for the working crowds of the city's food markets. But the city was changing, and stone was rising. 1826, the same year that Sir Walter Scott was enduring the heartbreak of selling his writing chair, Jonathan Lyon was picking up the gavel for the first time.
Jonathan Lyon was obviously a very canny man, a man of his age, very enterprising, and created a wonderful firm that outlived him and has carried on going and growing.
In 1846, Jonathan died at just 50, but his son William was already leading the charge. In 1850, a young clerk from Roxburgh joined the ranks, William Elliot Turnbull. By 1864, the two Williams struck out alone, taking over George Street Hall to form Lyon Turnbull. The grand space quickly became a centre of the city's auction trade, a place where collectors, dealers and the curious gathered to see what treasures might appear next. By the 1880s, the next generation had joined the business, with both sons of the founding Williams entering the firm. Lyon Turnbull had become one of Scotland's leading auction houses, but history outside the auction room could not be ignored. Like so many institutions, Lyon Turnbull was deeply affected by the outbreak of the First World War in 1914. Many staff enlisted, including Lieutenant William Elliot Turnbull, who had joined the firm and was now serving in the 5th Royal Scots. In 1915, during the Gallipoli campaign, he was killed only days after landing with his regiment at the age of 26. A tragic reminder that the events of the wider world reached even into the quiet routines of an auction house. In 1930, the elderly Jonathan Lyon returned briefly to the rostrum to auction an original Kilmarnock edition of Robert Burns, which sold for £510, a remarkable sum at the time. This would be the last sale for Jonathan Lyon, who died later in 1930. The last of the Lyon dynasty, he was remembered not only for his business ability but for his distinctive style as an auctioneer, combining humour, dignity and courtly charm. Lyon Turnbull continued in the hands of the staff and the discovery of rare Shakespeare folios. Then came the lane sales. 3 days a week, the peer and the dustman stood side by side on these cobblestones. They were an Aladdin's cave, but also a time capsule. However, as the century drew to a close, they were sailing on a sea of tradition while the corporate world was leaving them behind. In 1998, the announcement came. Auction room going, after 173 years. The story almost ended on a cold December day.
1999, and the 5 founder directors, of which I'm one, had worked together for decades, probably. So we had the big advantage that we knew one another's strengths and weaknesses.
And of course, the whole thing started around the kitchen table at home, and we built a plan.
When we wrote the business plan, and yes, we did have a business plan back in 1999 in a PowerPoint, and at the heart of that was the vision to create an international auction house for Scotland.
When we decided to start up for Lyon Turnbull, we didn't have a premise, and we looked at a number of places around Edinburgh, and eventually we decided to have a go at this place, and I'm sitting in the main sale room of Lyon Turnbull.
I was working for another auction house, and they'd relaunched Lyon Turnbull and were doing fantastic business. We lost a lot of business to them. I was very envious. And when the auction house I was working for closed its operations in Scotland, I just turned around to the original founders and said, "Can I join your gang?" And the rest is history.
The door is always open. You're always welcome. That plays to our strengths through the whole company, from reception through the sale room team who move things to our photographers and marketers. It's all very collegiate in a way, and we present ourselves in a way that might look exclusive. It's actually a very inclusive environment. You can feel that from outside.
For me, it's always been a fun environment in that sense. Like, people are really, really passionate. They're really dedicated to the sort of vision, doing the best for the clients, doing the best for the objects. That comes out. People are very creative. Yeah, there's a lot of sort of flexibility, and we work very closely together. I think my first Lyon Turnbull trip was to an estate in the Highlands of Scotland, and we were all staying in the holiday cottage, and Gavin, our managing director, was cooking the pasta, and then we were playing Trivial Pursuit. Yeah, it's quite close and it's quite personal, and I think that's what we think we offer the clients is also very personal.
People come to Lyon Turnbull because they've got a passion for what they do. So you're starting from a good point. I think that there is also a shared excitement when an important consignment comes our way. And also, a successful auction house is based on teamwork. So many people are involved with the successful presentation of a lot to the market. A wonderful coming together and recognising that each of us is needed in that jigsaw puzzle of auction house success.
I've been at Lyon Turnbull now just over 5 years, and I actually asked to work here. I rang up the managing director and said, "Please, may I join you?" And the reason for that was I saw a company where there was professionalism, there was passion, there was a sense of moving forward, there was a sense of growth. There was a sense of expertise. I think the future for L&T is good. I think that we're on a pioneering trajectory.
We have international clients, we have international buyers. People internationally know the brand, people respect it, people trust it. And that's why people keep coming back. That's the real kind of legacy. And I think that's what Mr. Lyon would love about what he has seen and what he started.
As we move to the future for the company with a bigger focus on London, we've had great success over the last 4 or 5 years. Our presence there is expanding rapidly, and there is no doubt that within the next 3 to 4, 5 years that we will be more of a London company than a Scottish one. But we'll always remember where we came from.